Hello, 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 beautifuls and beloveds. How are we all doing today, huh? Yeah, I'm a city girl with a country girl's heart. Didn't know that, huh? Hi. Wait. Beautifuls and beloveds, sorry. I'm Noelle Rose Anderson Kale. And raw, real, uncensored, dance warrior, you know, the whole spiel. Anyway, that's pretty much everything I gotta say about that. For right now. Yeah, so I was raised, I'm a city girl, the country girl's heart. I used to spend my time back east, out west, Texas actually, with my grandparents, and we used to hang out in bars, my brothers and I, as kids. But we were really good pool players because of it. And as long as we didn't order drinks, drink the beverages, or hang out at the bar, we had reign of the full place. It was so fun. I learned, line dancing, country western dancing, all sorts of stuff. And so if you wonder, wait, where's she from? She's got a little bit of a North Jersey, Manhattan area accent with a little twang here and there, y'all. And of course, you know, the sunny Southern California BS. So that's why I just spent a lot of time in different places when I was a kid growing up. So I'm going to talk to you about a couple things today. One of which is, wait, put this up here. Oh, now I got hat hair, huh? It's gonna look stupid. So I hope everyone's doing okay. It depends on the moments we're having over here. Because, you know, sometimes I just really don't like the damn shit going on. Who does right now, I guess? But we all have to look at it this way, okay? We gotta be in this to win this, and we're not backing down. You know of our personal struggles, you know of my company's struggles, you know, all the garbage that's been happening to us. And somehow I think all of this is kind of related. Don't ask me how yet, because I'm still working on it, but I do. You know, yeah. So what I want you guys to do is to really open your eyes. Hold on. Before I really give you something to look at, let me adjust this. I really want you guys to pay attention to the sky. Now, just because it's really white and hazy doesn't always mean that your symptoms or the toxins that are being sprayed are at their worst, but it could. So here's some things that we found. How did we test this? Well, we'll let you know soon enough. But according to our test that we did, benzene, ooh, very, very, very bad. It shouldn't be in your water, food products, air, nothing. And it will dehydrate you. You must consume a lot of B vitamins. Beloveds, come on now. That actually helps break down benzene so your liver and your kidneys can process it really quickly. Now there's something like, I don't know, lidocaine, novocaine, probably something else or something new, some cane, a numbing agent of some sort. Because this, it's like the surface really numb, and sometimes my gums go numb, my nostrils, ears, eyes are burning, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And then it goes away. You know what? This is not a biological virus. You can't catch this because someone sneezes on you. I wish it was that. I know what to do with that. I know what to do with this too, for the most part. But come on, fewer and fewer people are buying this bullshit about it being a biological virus. Look, you've got the left and you've got the right. Why do you think we have the left and right? So we're diverted from the middle, and that's where the truth is. Right in the middle. So you got the right side, some people are hoax, not real, whatever. The left said that too for a little while at the beginning. And then they switched sides. This is nonsense. It's a slick marketing campaign called COVID and the list. You know what? Just because a professional has all these years of experience and has all of this in their arsenal and are supposedly professionals that passed the test, maybe they didn't. You ever think of that? It doesn't mean that their hearts are good. Doesn't mean that they are looking out for us. Well, why the hell would they do that? Why don't you ask everybody that's in prison, for Christ's sake? Why did you commit your crime? Why did you do this? Shit. If I know the answer, these people, who knows? They could be crazy. Who knows? Genocidal, homicidal maniacs. I don't know. Ask them. Anyway, but there's no way anybody's going to make me be convinced that this is a biological virus. Oh, there's something out there. Obviously, we've been wearing our masks since when? But we got these things. They're all over the place. So we found something useful for these. Look, it's a hammock. You can play cat's cradle with them too, while you're singing the song. Look at this. I made a hammock for my Barbie doll. Isn't this cute?
Oh, lovely.
Okay. Look, guys. We showed you our experiments, right? It goes right through. This does not prevent you from getting sick. Can it act as a little bit of a barrier and it's better than nothing? Yeah, but don't be lulled into a false sense of security with this stuff. But we've been wearing masks, not these. They're so flimsy. We have been wearing the N95s because my dad, my father, he's in construction building, and he said, you know what, I double them up. On bad days, double them up. We've been wearing our masks for a very, very, very long time. And once again, here comes Noelle Rose, who accidentally, hits the nail on the head of the bad guys and their plans, and is like, oops, sorry, Red Ribbons. I didn't realize that was actually how people, the corporation, for lack of a better term that I call them, uses that to what? Tag their targets or something, or say this one's spoken for. Jesus, I think I kind of know. Anyway, kind of done with it. Sorry. Go back in time and tell my grandmother to pick a different color ribbon. It's not my fucking fault, and no, I'm not going to stop telling everybody my truth. And I don't give a shit who likes it or not. Yeah, they're scared. Oh, boy howdy, we've got people backpedaling, talking about going like 1,000-fold in reverse. Good. I don't have to be nice to evil people. It says nowhere in the Bible we're actually supposed to be tough. You offer forgiveness, you offer repentance, but if they don't change their ways and become Christians and be good people, bye-bye. If you have a problem with it, talk to the Lord. Yell at the Bible, yell at God, yell at Jesus. I didn't come up with this, but it's smart, isn't it? It's very ingenious. So, we're very, very, very upset on this and what's happening. It needs to stop. So who's going to actually do it? So if I have to, I will. I don't really care at this point. Somebody's got to say something. So guys, if you're getting, of course, go to your doctor, but make sure they're a real doctor and not some kind of corporation bullshit prop-up person. Oh, we run into them, attorneys, for example. Yeah, they didn't even file our trademarks right. Why? Because they have an ulterior motive. They're third parties of the corporation, and they didn't want us owning our shit, let alone trademarking it officially. So, that's okay. President Trump, go fuck them up for us. We're gonna do it. Kind of done. And, who in their right mind has such audacity to say, hey, great creation, we'll take that, thanks, hon. We know what to do with it better than you do. No, you don't. Because God gave it to me. You have no fucking clue what He wants me to do with it. Oh, we wrote a lot of corporations and basically told them, Red Ribbons, Rubans Rouges, all this stuff is ours, so go stick it. We've called some. I've talked to some of these people and told them to knock it the hell off. No fear. What am I going to be afraid of? Really? Let it be at least me. See, do you see how I'm talking like all scrambled like this? That's like shit in the sky. If I'm out of it for like 2-3 days and the assholes didn't sabotage our air conditioning and stuff, it clears up. There's nothing neurologically or anything wrong with me except the spraying stuff. Of course, look it up. Look up all of these things that we keep telling you. Look up chemical pneumonia, look up methanol, look up benzene, look up the poisoning symptoms that you get from this. Get a clue. Do you know why children don't catch this virus? Their livers are new and young. They don't get as polluted or as sick as we do. Hey, if you clean out your liver, and have been, like we've been, I've been doing that for 30 years. Figure that one out. And, you know, all this other stuff. And it really helps. It doesn't completely solve the problem, because when you have a bucket that's this big, and everybody has a bucket this big, it's called your liver, and you keep pouring all this, not you personally, but these asshole, evil people keep pouring all this shit into our air, you know, the liver can only regenerate and push that stuff out so quickly. So, you know, hey, I'll just stay on a never-ending liver cleanse until all this is over. Spite my enemies. Anyway, yeah. Did you see the video of my hair falling out? Well, so, you know, it's just really interesting, all of that. And, yeah. So watch that video. But I think we've figured a few things out. So, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Took a while. But, you know, I'm just saying that there's nothing that we have to lose, and we really are pretty much at the bottom, so the only place we can go is up. There's no place less. We've already been and still living in our car. It's just obnoxious. You know, there's people in the neighborhood that are leaving, like, you know, tow trailers, and there's something exuding off of it, right?
That's correct.
There's like an odor, and there's like a burning sensation that happens in gums and eyes and stuff when we get anywhere near it. So we have all of this on video. And again, another cop lied. And, oh no, trying to gaslight us after we have it on video. No, it was the wind that was blowing all the dirt in the street. So we have the conversation recorded because it was in public, and you can do that legally, yes?
That is correct.
We checked with the cops. And we also have the video of the guys with the, they didn't look like they know what they were doing with the gardening. I'm like, what the hell is this? You got a rake? I can do better than you. And they just made and did it for appearances. But I think the whole point was to have that vessel, the toe, there to just emanate shit. And it just so happened that it blew in the, there we go, the direction the wind was blowing into our rental home. Yeah, no shit. Pissed off. I'm so I'm not kidding, I carry this with me. I forgot we had it again. You put it up there?
Yes.
What a sweetie. Mm-hmm. Thank you. It encourages me. So, yeah, and then somebody last night was banging on the outside of the rental home. You know, let's open the door and find out who it is. And then you let in all the bad air from outside in. It's, look, this goes way beyond pollution. We are under a chemical attack. I don't know who the hell is doing it. Trump keeps saying China, 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 but who's pulling China's strings? Now, come on, I'm not saying China's all beautiful, perfect, and I'm not going to say that they're awful either. I don't know all the facts. He probably knows more than I do. But I saw the look on, is it President Xi?
I think that's his name, yeah.
He looked like he had so much regret. I think somebody is twisting his arm behind his back. And I think Trump is right. He's like, has stopped at China, and I would be pissed off at the president there too. Prime Minister, President, I don't know what the right title is for him. With all due respect to everybody involved, and I'm not saying, hey, China, woohoo, because I think everybody's a little pissed off at them right now. Because you know what, it takes a lot of courage to stand up and say, you're not going to make me betray that person. So we're not going to betray President Trump either, and believe me, there's been a lot of people that are trying to sway us, hey, you want your suffering to stop, type of a thing. Oh, they don't come right up to you and say it. Do you know how it works, people? You know, little hint drops? They do it that way because it would be too easy to put them in jail, don't you think? Sure it would be. So they do that little hint drop bullshit. And I'm like, oh no, we report everything. We could be 1000% right or wrong with any given thing. But you know, we look at it this way. You don't know where the good ideas are going to come from. You don't know where someone's going to say, oh, that fits here. Oh, this ain't nothing, but we'll put it here for now because you know what? It might mean something later. That happened a few, right?
Yeah.
It happened a few times with us. We thought, this is bullshit. This is nothing. Throw it away. You know, it's just tainting our thesis, so we don't need it. And it turned out that it fit someplace else later on. Who knew? Lovely. You can't find cotton socks like this anymore. I had to buy them for no elastic for when I was in the cancer clinic. A lot of the things to decontaminate from this bullshit that we're going through now are very similar. We sprungboard off of a lot of things that I was trained to do medically. I really could have a PhD, probably in naturopathic medicine, and some actual real medicine too, not pharmacology. That's this one over here. He's got the certifications for pharmacology. So you put both of our minds together and we're like, this ain't no fucking biological virus. This is chemical. And then we ran our, basic rudimentary tests, and then we stepped it up. So you can do your own little tests that we do. And it's all scientific. No emotion, just science. And then we did, the little pee tests. You pee on the little strips. And I'm like, oh shit, we're loaded with all this toxic stuff. So we tested it when we were living in our apartment. We peed in bottles. I know this is so raw, real, uncensored. It's what you get with me. What you see is what you get. I don't play games. I just don't. Too much to think about and remember. It's just like, just tell the truth. So we peed in a lot of bottles, and we saved them, and we knew how to preserve them because of what we all learned in the cancer clinic. And so we said, let's save this for a rainy day for when we can test everything. And we're like, holy crap. Yep. And then you step it up. Then you do your analysis, you do blood, and you can actually test your own blood. A lot of people don't want you to know this. A phlebotomist will just draw your blood from even your neck. You gotta be careful here though. Even around your ankle, different places, right here, and your leg. But this is usually the traditional place. But you can do it yourself. No needles. Listen, it's really easy. You ever get a paper cut? Whiteheads. When you get pimples, you can very carefully pop this. I'm not going to tell you to do anything that's dangerous here. It's a whitehead. You get a paper cut. You cut yourself accidentally. Get some of that blood on a tissue and save it. You can have your blood tested. How? I'm not going to tell you exactly all of what we do and how we do it. It's completely legal and all of that. It's really just a very basic science kit that well, at least when I was younger, we had this. So, it's basically whatever this element is, and if it tests and it resonates with your blood, guess what? You have it in your blood. Yeah, it's that simple. So we ran all of our tests, and then of course you don't stop there. You double check yourself. How do you double check yourself? Like I said, you actually get more tests. You go to a reliable lab, you keep your samples, date them puppies, preserve them, and you can get slides, glass slides. Use glass. Always use that plastic shit. There's too much in the plastic itself. The plastic can be tainted. Glass can be too, but it's harder. So with glass, you gotta watch out for cobalt, mercury, some kind of lead poisoning. But most of the glass that we have nowadays is, I think, free of lead. So plastic has just so much more, and you have to be careful. So we use glass slides, and then you just put it on the thing, you preserve it, you put that little piece on top of it. Come on, guys. Not hard. Pain in the ass. Now, if you don't have that, what you do, excuse me, what you do, I can't show you the product name, but you can put your specimen on top of a cap like this. You don't even need the whole bottle. It's just more practical. Take the top off. Holy crap. And then you put a piece of medical tape over it, and you seal it on here. That's one way, and so you can do it the right way. We found a whole bunch of tricks to do all this stuff. But yeah, you can test it. Now, don't go around getting a needle and saying, Noelle said. No, go to your doctor first. I'm saying that first. But if you happen to accidentally cut yourself, save some of it. I won't tell you what we do with everything, but you know, it's just a really easy way to test and to see. You can even use the urine strips. It doesn't just only test pH. You can get them testing everything in the world, really. You can drop, like say if you cut your finger, you can also drop some of that into your urine and it's going to show up. You don't have to. The urine is so sensitive. Saliva testing. This is what really pisses me off. Oh my God, I can go on and on and on. Dr. Hulda Clark actually was the one who discovered that whole testing theory, and she was mocked, ridiculed, her work was destroyed. People saw, she wrote, look at the volumes that she wrote, and they just took her work and they put it on other people, like they're doing with my creative work. Y'all are getting more than just the bird. So I'm standing up for her work too. I was like a little protege. It's not hard to do this stuff. They called her a weirdo, a quack, and she had this excellent German doctor and Mexican doctor and a Canadian. They were all working together like real doctors. Okay, she had a PhD in chemistry, biology. She was a research doctor. Okay, people have to understand, when you get a doctorate degree, doctor, that does not necessarily mean that you are a doctor as in medical. It could. I could get a degree in dance. I would be that proficient in dance. I ain't gonna do that. Or maybe I will, I don't know. It's just a piece of paper. I happen to know a lot more than a lot of these propped up fake actors who are past. You know, we did a test once and we never used it because I knew it was very suspicious. And I'm like, I can't take this test and pass this. What the hell is this? I need to study for this stuff. It was for the food test, so we could actually prepare food ourselves. And I've taken it before because we worked at the Renaissance Fair. We handled food. So you have to know all of this stuff, you know, was it vector this and that, and it's like how far off the floor can you do this, it's a heating temperature, and it was just a little overdone if you ask me, the test, and I don't blame people for wanting to just say screw it. But we all took the test and I'm like, there's no how and way, shape or form that I passed that test because I was just randomly filling it in before the time ran out, and I'm like, this is a waste of our time. And we all passed with flying colors. We had a certificate. We never used it because it was wrong. How many people who are doing law, medicine, and all this other stuff had the same thing? Because we were favored at the moment? Come on. I know these tests are hard, but we want to pass them honestly. So, anyway. The ones we did at the Renaissance Fair were not as hard as this because it wasn't the same test. It was a short form and it was much easier. So anyway, I'm just saying. Oh, good Lord. Anyway, we legitimately passed that one and we studied for it. But I just have this problem with a lot of people that are saying that, you know, hey, I'm a doctor or an attorney and I knew more than they did. I'm like, what the hell? And all they're doing is manipulating to win the argument. And a lot of them were put in our paths not to help us but to ruin us and give us a hard time with trademarks, with our wills. Oh my God, what a fucking nightmare that was. Here, put it in this envelope, pre-sealed. Oh, you mean anybody along the way can just open it up, read it, take pictures of it, send it to our enemies, and they know who to contact tracing, and then they can put it in another new envelope because it's the same fucking envelope. Yeah. They make millions of them, and you just put another one in there. How would we know? We didn't send it. Nobody thinks, hey, let's call midstream and call each one. Oh, we sent it this way. Here, quick, take a picture of it. Did it arrive this way? Yes. If it didn't arrive that way, somebody opened it. I mean, the things you gotta do nowadays. Remember the signet ring? And the king would have that, and the wax seal? They did that because they could, you know, catch your ass stealing shit, reading it, opening it up. And the king was the only one that had that ring. Carved and made, forged just for him. And it was a queen for her. You knew about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if anything happened, the couriers were shot. Drawn, quartered, shot. They didn't mess around then. I'm not saying we should do that nowadays, but you need to figure out how to do your own signet ring. No kidding. You think everything on email, the internet's secure? Think again. Okay, another thing I want to talk about, these masks. So I'm sure a lot of people saw a lot of our tweets, posts, us talking in private, people listening. And I was saying, you know what, these companies that make these, I hope they don't mind a million lawsuits, because here's the thing. They don't work completely. They can't guarantee it. So on the boxes, they now have a disclaimer, and it's pretty new because it says, we cannot guarantee it will protect you from contracting COVID. Yeah, but you're giving this to all the employees in the hospitals. Okay, fine. You know, my dad said, in an emergency, okay, but he said in an emergency, use the N95 ones because they buy you time. You know, you put them on and they'll protect you. You want to put anything between you and anything that you might be breathing. Now, here's the thing. Shit gets in your skin, your ears, your eyes. So, you know, using a wet piece of fabric, anything, put it on your head, wet your skin down, do anything. Layer of clothing when you get into a safe place. Take that clothing off and fucking burn it and never look at it again. It could be that dire. You know, and it's like, wow. So, you know, we've been saying this all this time, and watch, we're gonna find out someday that we were 100% right, that this was a chemical virus. So I think somebody lied to our president. Yeah. And now he probably knows, and he's like, oh shit, we've been writing to him everything that we've been, like, testing. Because look, last year, well, I've been noticing it long before this. You know, people are like, chemtrails, contrails. I don't fucking know. I do now. I didn't give a shit. But I did a lot of research, scientific once again. Condensation trails versus chemical trails and the different things. Look, condensation has to evaporate. It doesn't stay in the sky, become thicker, and spread and never go away and just gets pushed out with the wind, or it falls to the ground. No other way about it, people. I mean, sometimes I'm like, please just open your eyes and stop being so caught up in your lives that you can't stop and think and use the basic science that you learned in grammar school. You know, Sesame Street, which one of these things is not like the other? Compare things. Use Montessori. Okay, that's a way of association and comparison and ordering things. It can also help with OCD, meaning it can actually contribute a little to enforce that. We didn't know that. We found that out later on. But it's very interesting. And you use all these different things. Which one of these things is not like the other? You know how I'm always saying the 9/11 buildings? Okay, you have the Vegas implosions, you have the 9/11 thing. They're alike. I just, you know, so we just have to what? Take it from the media? fake media, fake news. Well, some of these people are my colleagues. Some of them are great, and some of them aren't. I'm like, we're not talking until you straighten up your shit. Not gonna happen. Why? Well, why? Because I'm also in media too. We just happen to use more often than not the camera as our documentation instead of writing, pen and paper. Although this seems to be the safest source. Make sure somebody doesn't have like a reader or a radar where they can, see. Oh yeah, we found that out too, where you can be writing something and they can see what you're writing. Not this way, but they can trace your pen marks in a sense. Very, very bad. We're very, very pissed off. I'm telling you, people will go to no lengths, or all lengths, I should say, maybe. So anyway, there's a lot for me to talk about. But I just love humanity. I don't want to see it ruined. I don't want to see it come down to where the corporation decides you may have permission to be successful in having a baby. And then where the fuck does all that sperm and those eggs go? When I started seeing law offices sprout up like that, I was like, uh-oh, what's in the air that they're actually spraying? And I want to know if that was tested on us, at our apartment. Because it's like, wait, my husband lost, 15 teeth? And he's not diabetic. I'm like, what the hell? We all have different symptoms. This shit affects everybody differently. You just don't know how it's going to affect you. Well, I figured out how it's affecting me. I'm really pissed off. So then you got to find out, oh, okay, not that it was a weakness. It's just for some reason, that's just what it did. So it's too late for my husband's teeth. It's not bothering our teeth. Wiped out all of his teeth. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me? That just blows my mind. But this stuff, it like damages your brain. And I'm like, who the fuck had the bright idea? Where is it coming from? Outside, a neighbor, God forbid. Where? The water, all of it, none of it, another avenue of access to us. But you know what? This is really interesting now. So we have all these filters from all these years. And because I was a cancer patient, I have all of these interesting blood tests and everything like that. And I'm like, something's up. Plus we know that they were listening. Just watch most of the movies that are out there. Listen to some of the dialogue in TV, especially cable, or what do you call it, streaming shit. And, they knew that we didn't watch too much of this. We don't have time. We actually had lives creating this stuff. We actually had lives, dancing, and so you don't have time. They knew it. So we couldn't check. And then we started seeing things. I'm like, why does that doll look like me and my ballet teacher? That's just one thing. And I'm like, okay, so you say, oh, coincidence, whatever, kids film and just blow it off. And then you watch the damn film because you're like really curious to know what the hell is going on. We don't have little kids anymore. So I'm like, yeah, no kidding. Like every 2 to 3 minutes we were putting that puppy on pause and looking at each other, right? Mm-hmm. And like, WTF. Like every few minutes I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then you try to write it off. Okay, maybe it's a God thing. I was like, but this hurts. God wouldn't do that. And you keep trying to write it off, and then more coincidences would happen. And I'm like, wait a fucking second. So we tested it, and we caught them. That's why we're putting on our Facebook pages and everything. Beloveds, beautifuls, don't take the bait. And some of you did, and it pisses me off because I didn't want you guys, I was hoping it wasn't going to be some of you guys, but it was. So I'm like, you took the bait, now we got to come after you. And you need to fess up and tell us what's going on. Otherwise, you're going to have problems legally. Big problems. So, choose. And I really don't want my shit stolen anymore, and I don't want to be eavesdropped on anymore. Oh, I don't care if the president does. We actually gave him permission to. But kind of figuring, since the bad guys are listening anyway, that maybe a good guy should listen too. Just saying. I think it's a good idea. And, you know, so what the hell? And then that whole story of my grandfather and all this ties in. It's like, this is why you guys didn't want me in the entertainment industry, so you could steal from me? Yeah, watch that one Star Trek episode. It's a two-parter. The Best of Both Worlds, the Borg and Patrick Stewart playing Captain Picard. Resistance is futile. Bullshit! That's what they want us to think. Resistance is a must and is not futile. Look, they went after 7 pillars of our society. Media, education, entertainment media, you know, law, everything. The people are like, why is all this crazy stuff happening? Wow, we can see right from wrong. It's so blatant. Why is it happening? They're going for broke. We caught them. I'm sure President Trump caught them. You know what he was running on. We're just helping him. Drain that damn swamp a little faster, can you? I'm sorry for being so forthright, but you know, I don't like suffering. Nobody likes suffering. I don't want to see anybody else suffer. I don't want to suffer. I don't want my son, husband, nobody. President, I don't even want him and his family to suffer. I'm like, we gotta stop this shit now. Who in their right fucking mind didn't stop it? Look, we had 1917, 1918, right? We had that, and I'm like, there's something wrong with this. Ever since I was a little girl, I'm like, there's something wrong with this, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And my dad's like, yeah, there's something. And then my dad told me about Agent Orange. He was in Panama, and you know, there was that Vietnam thing, Agent Orange, and we had Gulf War Syndrome. Jeez. I hate this shit. This is what it does. It's like, I can't connect the words right. And I'm like, what the hell is all of this? They're being sprayed. This shit was being tested on them. So it's like, wait, we have a war that shouldn't have happened several times. Panama shouldn't have happened. Vietnam. Then in the Gulf there, you know, good old CNN. They're owned by Warner Brothers, AT&T now. You tell me who the demon is. They were a good station. All these production companies were amazing. I worked for most of them. And I'm like, who the fuck's running these places now? Not very good people. Resistance is futile, right? So they're all assimilated into the they, the collective. Mark my words for it. Oh, you should see some of this shit we found. You know, what are we supposed to do? I tell you, you stand up. If I gotta do it, I gotta do it. I'm reluctantly doing it because who else is gonna fucking do it? I'm risking everything. My son, my family. But, I mean, if we don't win, you don't win either. So all my beloveds and beautifuls in the entertainment industry, come on, don't be afraid. You need to say something. Tell President Trump. Tell him. Get through to him somehow. Come on now. Don't cower. I know what we're up against. I know what we're up against. Maybe I'm the perfect candidate for this because I don't give a shit. You guys seem to be a little bit more entrenched in the industry than I am. I kind of skirted around all of these industries and actually got to be in the underbelly of a lot of them. I worked for very powerful people. Just saying. You know my brother's named after Aaron Spelling, right? Guys, I'm just, you know, I don't know. I know what we gotta do. I know what has to be done. It just needs to be done very quickly. So they're having a little conniption. Whoever they are, that's Trump's job, not mine. I ain't getting in that. I've already done my job. And we're holding our own. We're gonna live, we're gonna survive, and we're gonna kick their asses, quite literally, in court. We will have our justice. You know we will. And so here we are dealing with all this shit when I would rather be dancing and creating all the art. But I realized I will not be able to do that anymore unless I stand up and fight and stop everything that we were doing and go forward. I was just seeing too much, you know. After a while you're like, this ain't no damn fucking coincidence. When you're having a private conversation with your son, husband, brother, whatever, and then those words were recorded by how? Unbeknownst to us, look at any electronic device, or a real asshole neighbor, or somebody even in passing sitting in a car close to our domicile at any given point. Oh, there's so many different ways to do this. And if it wasn't for a parole probation officer that said, hey, you might want to look into this, and we're like, oh shit, and we did our own experiments, so we figured it out, and we narrowed it down. But when you have those conversations in private recorded, and now we record pretty much everything, so we have proof. But then they transcribe it, and then they give it to an actor, so maybe they plant a lot of this stuff, hoping that one of these, money is no object to these people. And this isn't something new. They've been doing this for a while. And they just hope that, you know, someday, yeah, we'll call up this attorney. But it's really not so happenstance based on luck type of thing. It's very well planted. It's called the marketing funnel. Not what you think. So here, they transcribe any and every conversation we've ever had. And it's like, oh, they're talking about this actor, so when that actor writes a book or does a press junket, we will make sure that we fit this in. There you go. And then all of a sudden, those are my words, and then we watch it on TV. It's like, weren't we just saying that? Yeah. Or let's just say we have an idea. I get a lot of product ideas for, you know, beverages and whatnot. Oh, wouldn't this be great if, and then they're transcribed. Probably not like how I'm doing it. It's probably recorded and transcribed on computer or something, right? And we might not even be recording anything, but a laptop might be listening. A camera that might have been refurbished and put online, so now it has access to us, sneaky little sons of sacks of shit. And then all of a sudden, I see that product as I'm walking through the entryway of a store and saying, son, wasn't I just talking about, right? How many times has that happened?
Quite a few.
Holy shit. Flattered? No, because somebody's making money off of me. And a lot of it. We're talking billions and billions of dollars. I'm like, come on now. I want credit, and I want my money, and I want all my intellectual property. Yes, even my private conversations given back to me. Turn them into money like that, you sack of shit. Oh my god. I know. I'm so sorry for those of you who's like, sweet little Noelle. Oh, that's part of me. That's a huge part of me. I'd rather live in that part of my personality. But you know what? When you have evil people like this that are trying to kill you in, well, no, it's been almost pretty direct. But let's just call it kind of, sort of, indirectly. Sweet Noelle, why don't you sit over here, Sweet Noelle, for a little while, and let's the lioness roar and bitch these people out. Because, look, this is evil. Invasion of privacy, intellectual property theft, attempted murder. I'm just saying. How many of my family was euthanized? I mean, I would like to know what's going on here. Okay, so let's just say that. I just did, right? I'm really pissed off. I'm trying to live in a moment of joy. It's not funny. It's very serious. It's sadistic. It's evil. I say the pits of hell are too good for these people. How do you punish somebody like this? No, really. How the fuck do you punish somebody like this who's done all of this? So basically, look at the Jews. The Nuremberg trials, am I saying that correctly? Hello. Here's the sequel coming pretty soon. I ain't gonna settle for anything less. Trump knows that. I ain't gonna let him rest either. Nothing against him personally. Hey, I fight with my family, and it doesn't mean that I want them drawn and quartered, even if my words are very intense. It just means enough with the shit. So, you know, he knows it. The evil ones know it. Yeah. So, you know, I would rather be nice, loving Noelle, but how can I do that? How can I possibly do that when we're dealing with life and death here? When we're dealing with watching millions of people endure this bullshit spraying thing? It's all gotta be from the same group of people. What, do they have dreams of genocide and purifying the race? I think it's different. I think it's control. You know, left, right. Walk in the middle. That is where you're going to find your truth. All of this is just noise, 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 noise. That's why we figured it out. We're like, liars, we sent you stuff and you betrayed us, and then you used it and regurgitated it and cherry-picked from it. So, bye, Democrat. Republicans, what the fuck are you doing? Stop wasting my time. Oh, you're a rhino, so you might as well be a Democrat. But they're all part of this. They're the tentacles of the octopus, the third parties filtered all the way through. The little puppets being mastered by the head puppet master. I mean, so many different analogies you can use, but really it's the same thing. We figured out the neck. Neck of the octopus, so we're working our way up, and we will figure it out. And they probably don't want us to, but I'm like, I really don't want to either. But this is what happens when you screw around with a gal like me, and I love people so much, and I love righteousness. I walk and fall far from it many times. I'm not putting myself up on the pedestal. I'm human and flesh, and I flesh out a lot. And that's just the way it goes. But my heart's in the right place. I don't want anybody suffering. I don't want anybody made to suffer, and I'm gonna stop it. You know, someone's gotta do it. Someone's gotta stop the noise. Someone's gotta say, hey, wait, look, this is where it's at. So, you know, there's terms that we as people, either on the left or the right, have become comfortable with, you know. And thankfully to Trump, he's pushed that envelope a little bit more. Fake news. I can attest to it, and I will. I will testify. A lot of it's fake. How do I know this? Because I actually wrote it. Unbeknownst to me. Like I said, we don't watch this shit. But then you have somebody say, hey, weren't we just talking about that? And so it's like, oh shit, now we gotta actually watch this stuff. And then you don't want to watch it because you know what they're gonna say. It's not having ESP. It's because you actually said it. And they're stealing. These people are not creative. They couldn't save their asses writing a story if they had to. Who else did they steal from? I know they picked a lot from me. How do I know that? Because we have evidence, volumes. Oh shit, write this one down too. Oh shit, write that one down too. Okay. You know, after a while it gets a little daunting. So I'm like, somebody used, I said, we're going to do a Red Ribbons week. That was the plan for our company. And somebody just stole it. We were right in front of our HP, our iPhone. Could have been a neighbor. You figure it out. Not my job. I'm just telling you exactly what happened. Documented, recorded, you know. Who? I don't know. Who wants to jump on our ship? It's sailing now. You're gonna have a long. Maybe you can do a grand jeté across the chasm there and land. I ain't gonna help you. You help me, I'll help you. You land well, I'll see how well you land. I'm a dancer and a dance teacher. I'll know. I know when I screw up, so I'll know if you do too. Land well. I'm finishing well. I plan to, and I ain't dying anytime soon. I am fighting this. I'm a fighter. I think President Trump even realizes how much of a fighter I am. When I roar, I scare the shit out of people. I know that much. I mean it. It's just something that God gave me. Nobody would expect it. Cute, sweet, petite little me. But I have a long fuse, and we reached the end of that fuse, and now I'm like, that's it. You fucked up too much, and you hurt me, and you know, after people start getting physical with this shit, I don't get scared. I get pissed off, and I fight. Why would they not think that? Because what, they'd gotten testimony from a colleague saying, oh, Noelle's just a sweetheart and she's always in tears when somebody does something wrong. Well, let's see. I remember one time that actually happened, and I was menstruating. So yeah, that does happen when I menstruate. I get more emotional, more sensitive. But I've managed to figure out the bullshit now, so that doesn't happen so much anymore. So it's pretty much mad. And good. I'd rather be mad than sad, because I can actually use that in a productive manner. That's why we've gotten this far. That's why we've had hundreds of letters. Well, it's almost probably 1,000 by now. Written, sent. I'm telling you guys, we're getting close to the end here, and we're going to be very triumphant and win. So, I welcome you guys. How many times have you guys heard me deliver the gospel message? God says, pray for your enemies. Love your enemies. There's nothing more loving than giving them an opportunity to get on your side. There's nothing more loving than praying for their repentance so they stop hurting themselves and other people. That's me showing love for people that would be recipients of their evil too. My preventing them from doing more evil is a loving deal. Very loving. It's very sacrificial. It's more advantageous for everybody to just say, go ahead, keep going. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. How many years are you going to be in jail for that? Keep going. Ooh, that one looked a little obvious. What is that, manslaughter? Maybe this time. Oh, keep going. Do you see that keep going? That's God. That's God giving the opportunity to this, let's say the Amorites. It's in the Bible. We counted it, and we didn't do an in-depth study, but at least 5 times. The sin of the Amorites had not met its full measure yet. So God basically, not that he ignored the prayers of the saints, but he's like, I don't reward unjustly good or evil. Meaning, if I want the full justice, because in Romans chapter 5, chapter 8, it says that everything he saw, he predestined and knew. We're walking and fulfilling it, in a sense. Oh, we have choice, the appearance of choice. But God isn't going to just let us get away with something. If he loves us, and which he does, it says so, he will discipline his beloveds, meaning his Christian sons and daughters, and he will judge everybody else. So, he cannot bestow glory and honor upon us in reward because it didn't meet its full measure yet. He cannot bestow a sentence of judgment because it hadn't reached its full, like this is a thermometer measuring it until, right?
Yes.
Until it reaches its full measure. The sin of the Amorites had not met its full measure yet, so he just said, okay, keep going. Keep going. But Lord, please, my family just died. Please, please. I know. And his heart is hurting. I know. And he's crying those tears too, but for the better good, for the good of us and for him, and for his will and for his glory. I don't like it. Oh, you hear me bitching and complaining. I don't like it. But what else are we to do? Who are we? We are made up of all the elements from the dirt. We're dirt. Where were you when he formed the heavens and the earth? We were nowhere to be seen. So who are we to tell God, oh, I'm guilty of it? I swear at God. I get mad at God and say, screw this, I'm done. But before I pull a Jonas and end up in the proverbial whale belly, I always turn my heart around and I'm like, okay, I guess, reluctantly. And I'm waiting for this to be worth it. I've been waiting my whole life for this to be worth it. We finally know why my life is this way. It wasn't mere coincidence. It was damn fucking assholes who were trying to ruin my life for the sole purpose of keeping me a secret, because I was their best kept secret, as long as I was kept a secret. You know, the cow, cash cow. This girl is really good. Make her a secretary. She can kind of help and make sure she has plenty of money, make her happy, shut her up. And every once in a while we'll answer prayers so she thinks that the Lord God's answering them. I was like, something's funny here. So I started praying in silence, and there were very few prayers answered, and I said, that's the authentic God. Only the ones I uttered out loud were like answered bam, 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 bam. And I thought, oh my God, I've got such a great relationship with the Lord. He loves me. What's going on? You hear something?
Yeah. He's
Huh?
here. He's back.
Oh, what's he doing?
I don't know.
Oh, hi.
Hi there.
So I'm doing a video. I'm not talking to myself.
I know.
Well, just in case, because a lot of weird shit's been going on. I just wanted to clarify that. But am I right? The sin of the Amorites. He couldn't cast judgment until they completed the barometer or the thermometer of evil. And then he's like, fulfilled now. You know how many people, innocent people, died up until that time though?
I don't know.
I don't know the number either, but a lot. It's very heartbreaking. But I think enough blood has been shed. So we need to saddle that shit up, and we need to put this to an end. So I just found it very interesting, all of this kind of stuff in scripture. It's very encouraging. So beautifuls and beloveds, hang tight. We're doing the best we can. Write President Trump a whole bunch of letters like we did. Don't give up. Do any of you actually look up in the sky? Do any of you actually sit around and talk about the deeper things of the world? My family did. To me, it's unnatural not to. I don't know. I don't know how to be any different. And I wouldn't say that my family were like Christian. Mom, Catholic, dad, Protestant, stepfather, Jewish. You know, they all know God in a sense, right? But we never had a dull moment at all. Wouldn't it be a real kick if these people have been always recording us? I mean, there's been phones, TVs, who knows? My grandfather had a TV store. Very interesting. That was the front though. So I've been told, and I'm like, oh great, thank you. What kind of Pandora's box did he open the door to? And I'm like, wow, from what I know, once you are part of that family, I'm like, I don't want to be a part of it. They act like a gang. They're like, oh no, come back. I'm like, oh no, I ain't going near that. I don't want to have anything to do with that. I am a child of light, not of evil, not of debauchery or sin. I want to celebrate what's beautiful and good and love and help people. I don't want to be a part of any of what he did. Obviously, he was not a good person to be raping my mom. How many days of her childhood and then young adulthood before she was able to get out of the house. That's why she married my dad, to get the hell out of that hellhole. I don't blame her. You know, the same hands that I should have been able to trust my grandfather. He should have been trustworthy. He wasn't. I just wish my mother was here still, so that she could see this and be proud of me. She knew I was strong. Oh my God, I was probably the only 2-year-old child ever to just tell my mom a thing or two. With evidence even when I was a little girl, I was just like telling everybody a thing or two. Pretty interesting. So I really think that somehow my mom will know and be informed of what I've been doing. And I'm doing it to preserve the true mantle of my family and the heritage. Why do I have to have that evil in my history, my family's history? Why can't I just turn that around for good? Well, I'm doing it. I want to. And I think it's the best thing that I could ever do. It's the best gift I can give my son and his family. And he will procreate. I'm going to make sure of it. I'm not done either. I want to keep going. I'll find a way. I'm going to find a way. I always find a way. Okay, I'm done. You want to flip this one around pretty quickly?
Yeah.
Okay, so again, help us, we'll help you, and get to President Trump. Tell him. And I will do my best to make sure that you are safe and loved, and just saying that, you know, I love you too. And I'm really sorry that I couldn't have come forward sooner. I didn't know what the hell was going on with my own life. But I knew something was wrong. I knew enough to listen to Aaron's spelling with the warnings he gave to the best of my ability. I was still a kid, really. And, you know, have the sense to change my name. Happenstance, wisdom, a little knocking on my heart saying, hey, better do this. Whatever you chalk it up to, it helped me accomplish. It helped me get through and last a little longer and get them off my trail for a little bit. That's all I can say. I think that's how it worked. So I know I'm not responsible for this, but I can't help but, you know, what if I came forward a little sooner? What could I have prevented? I don't know. This is the right time. Nobody else but President Trump would have even... The stars aligned perfectly. They aligned perfectly, that's all I can say. He was the right person. I was the right person. It was the right time. But again, if only I could have pieced it together quicker. I was doing a good job. But I'm just sorry that, you know, how many lives could I have spared even more? More so. I don't know. You never know. So, once we figured out any kind of semblance of resemblance of anything, I said, let's do this. And they heard us, they knew we were going to, and then we started making our cease and desist letters, called some, sent some car accidents, another car accident. People dying. It was very bad. I kind of figured it might have happened, but it's not just. It's wrong. It's evil. The things that people will do to one another. Another human being. What they will do to another human being. And we're all equal. Nobody has a right to do it to another person. So, this is the best I can do. So now my red ribbons stand for a much more grander piece of the puzzle. And I never would have imagined this. I'm making it all good, that's all I know. Okay, that's all. I love you guys. Take care. Much love. In my thoughts always. A little help is needed. But we're in this to win it. There's no other choice. Be safe. Take care. Watch your backs. Suspect everything. Think about everything. Yeah. Okay. Bye for now.